coup d'etat with Riek Machar as their leader in order to overthrow a democratically elected government. And this is the plan of action for the capture of Juba, the one you have here. This is the plan of action. Juba was divided into 9 zones, and Juba was supposed to be taken over by this. If you see here, you will find that there are some people who are repeated here and there according to their abilities, or maybe they did not have enough trusted command that will conduct the operations. But that is the list. And if you look at the top of the list, yes, if you look at it, it is a joint operation security force. This Nyakuren headquarters. If you look at the emblem here, it's different. It is not our coat of arms. This is not the coat of arms of our SPLA forces. And there is no any of our regular forces which has this coat of arms. This one, we got it from them during the operations. If you look at it also, here is a flag. Here is a flag which we captured during the operations. So part of it is burned, this part. But this is the flag which we got, we were captured from them during operations. So here you don't talk of, Dr. Riek, the rebel leader, talks of a dispute between the Republican guards in their headquarters. If that was the dispute, then why this map? This was got in his house. Why this? This is a flag of a new nation. This is not our flag, of course. What is our flag? Why are you not drawing it?
We know it.
Well, I should have been here. This is our flag. See? Now, this ultimately, this flag is a cloth, which means that it is something planned a long time ago. It is a clear plan that this thing is, and they went as far as planning to change the flag in case they take over. In case they take over, they change the flag. Now, after the capture, after their failure in Juba, if it was a mere dispute, or if it was a mere mutiny within the Republican Guards, then are all the SPLA forces in other parts of the country, are they all Republican Guards? And what is that which made them to join in this? Riek, after failing to capture Juba, decided to appeal to the sentiments of the people of his tribe. He appealed to their sentiments. That the Nuer in Juba are all killed by the Dinkas. And I want you, the Nuer, to move and revenge and come to Juba to bury your dead. This is the appeal which he made. And as such, people believing that he was saying the correct thing, decided to move. This is why there had been a lot of mutinies and a lot of fighting in all the SPLA forces. Not that only, but he used his tribal sentiments. It's how those of you who have been following history, in 1991, Riek, when we were in the liberation struggle, Riek rebelled against the movement. And he created a lot of problems, created real death. People died. he's a person who is actually on his way to Hague if he is not careful. The genocide which he committed in 1991, for which we have not forgiven him as the people of South Sudan, he has repeated it again. In 1991, he used the same sentiments and appealed to the Nuer. Appealed to the Nuer. So they joined him. And as a result, the disaster of Jonglei and in Bor in particular happened in 1991. That famous disaster known to everybody in this world. It was his making. He mobilized the White Army, which are his youth, armed them, and they moved into Bor area, devastating it completely. Now, after that, when he left from here, he did the same. He appealed to the same low youth, same Nuer youth in Jonglei state. He has mobilized them again. And despite the fact that we flushed him out of Bor, he has now assembled the youth of Low Nuer in Gadiang area. According to the reports, he has assembled 25,000 youths, 25,000 armed youth. And he's saying, I'm going back to Bor. I'm going to recapture Bor, and I'm moving to Juba. Using his tribal sentiments, appealing to the Nuer as his tribesmen, and appealing to them not to lead him down. Not that only, but in his statements here, he was saying that I will be the president, I must be the president of this country. Well, he has tried it democratically, he lost it, and for that matter, he wants to come to power by any means, including war, and this is what he has done. And he now, after moving over there, he denies having attempted a coup in Juba. And he goes there to mobilize all the people. The deaths that happened in Bor, the deaths that happened in Akobo, and how his youth stormed the UN compound and he slaughtered people inside the UN compound. This is Riek in action. The same thing has happened in Unity State. People are being slaughtered in the streets. And they are being killed in the name of any. By the way, it is not only, he says that it is between Dinka and Nuer, but the death is not only limited to the Dinka, it is anybody who is a non-Nuer who is dying in those areas. So it is a serious situation. It's a serious situation. Riek had planned his coup, and when it failed, he decided to tribalize it. And this is what should be corrected. He has misled the international community using that perception that this is a tribal war. This is a tribal war between the Dinka and the Nuer, which is unbecoming of a leader who wants to rule in this country. We have in the south here, we have 62 nationalities or tribes. What will happen if each tribe decides to have its own army and decide to come up by force? What will happen? Is that the situation we want? Is that are we in for anarchy? This is not acceptable. We will not allow anybody to come to power except through the ballot. Anybody who wants to come by force will be met by force. There is no way. Because time has gone, time for coup d'etats has actually gone. And in this world now, when you talk of a coup d'etat, people laugh at you. But the strange thing is that people are not believing that this is a coup. This is the strangest part of it. And how do we define a coup if this is not a coup? And he was saying that he has already set up his government. He had appointed a governor for Jonglei State, except that we took over the capital. So the governor, his appointed governor ran with him. He has already appointed a governor for Unity State. Then what is he doing? He's actually setting up his government. Tabandega, I'm informed, is the vice president. He is the self-appointed president. And Taban is his deputy. The man who was the deputy governor here in Jonglei, the same man was the governor, and he ran with him after the capture. This is the situation in which we are. So here, there is nowhere where we will be talking about whatever that was the other. His Excellency the President, have you distributed this? His Excellency the President had issued a press statement. He has actually, this is the third press statement. The first press statement was on the 16th, in which he appealed to the people for calm and appeal and declared that he was ready, that the government is ready to dialogue with the renegade Riek Machar. Nevertheless, Riek Machar did not listen. He continued, and this was the time when he continued to capture all the places. Again, His Excellency the President issued another press release. I don't know where are they. And that press release which was issued did not pay any attention again to it. And he did not listen to it. The President had repeatedly been saying that he is for peace, and that he is committed to peace, and that he will never take the people of South Sudan back to war, because we have had enough of it. That is our position, that is the position of our President, and that is the position of the government of the Republic of South Sudan. We don't want our people to die again. Those few who have survived the war should be used for development, other than being killed again. This is a very clear stand. Unfortunately, when the Americans came in and they decided to, and the Commonwealth countries, when they decided to evacuate their personnel, they requested us to, in fact, we had started to move against the Riek Machar. But when we were requested to suspend the operations a little bit, to give chance for these countries that want to evacuate their personnel from the risky areas, when we stopped these operations, when we suspended them, they decided to exploit that opportunity and capture more places. And this is the time when they took over the field. So it was after the removal of all the personnel from board that we captured board. And we are moving forward, we will continue to capture it as long as they don't listen to peace. If they are ready for peace, then ultimately we will be listening to, we will be talking the language of peace. Here was a press release also. It is in Arabic. I don't know how far.
It will go and translate.
It is in Arabic. It was issued by the Minister of Interior. It was issued by the Minister of Interior, calling on the people to be peaceful and calling on those rendering services to the people here in Juba to resume their work so that they continue to render services. He also appealed to the regular forces not to touch touch the people, not to loot their properties, not to kill people and so forth. And directed that anybody found committing such offenses will be arrested and brought to loose. In fact, there are some of them who are now under arrest and they will undergo trial as soon as the situation subsides. We had also, in the course of operations, we have been capturing so many of them. And those who are arrested, or those captured, or those who surrendered, in other words, they will all be investigated to tell us exactly what happened. And for those who are arrested, the 11 who are arrested, who are now here in custody, they are in safe hands, they are safe. Yesterday, when the Prime Minister of Ethiopia came together with President Uhuru of Kenya, they even visited them and they talked to them. Because their relatives are creating a lot of dust that our people are being tortured, they are in a bad shape and all these things. They found that they are in a place even better than a hotel. Yes. They are not actually being treated as culprits, even though they are supposed to be treated as culprits. But they are very comfortable here. They are accommodated in the house. They are only being guarded, and they are in a house. And they sit together, they converse, they take their tea, they do whatever together, and they are there. Anyway, that is the situation in which they are.
Are we allowed to go and see them?
That is one. Number two, yesterday, or before yesterday, the day before, on the 25th, I went to go with a team of journalists to go and see for themselves what happened, what is happening on the ground, that this type of destruction that has been made in war. And I understand that this is what they said, that they want us to commit ourselves to cessation of hostilities with the rebel groups. Of course, these people, we call them rebel groups because after aborting their coup, they decided to. They actually became. They were at the beginning. They mutinied within the army with the hope of taking over the power. But after the failure, they have now become rebels. So they are fighting all over South Sudan now as rebels. And they requested that there should be cessation of hostilities with the rebel groups led by Riek Machar, and then we should dialogue with Riek Machar and his group, should dialogue with them, and then we should release the detained suspects. And number four, that we should allow unhindered access to delivery of humanitarian assistance to the needy throughout the Republic of South Sudan. Of course, these are principles to which our president and the government of South Sudan is committed. We are committed to peace. For that matter, we are ready for cessation of hostilities, provided that Riek Machar does not exploit it again. And this is why this press release was announced yesterday and is distributed all over. Conditions. There were some conditions which he brought about, but at the end, anyway, we don't know. They did not reach us officially. But we have been hearing in the air that he has made those who are under arrest, had been denying being part and parcel . But Riek Machar, when he was contacted for the dialogue, he said, release those who are under arrest because they are my delegates to the peace talks. affirming that they are part and parcel of the group. This is what happened. And our response was that we are not releasing any arrested member of a coup. So that is the situation. Now we said, yes, we are ready to dialogue with Riek Machar and his group without permission. Riek has so many of them. Those who are at large are sufficient to negotiate and talk. But those who are under arrest should not be released. They are already charged. Now, with that we are saying, we are ready to dialogue. As for the release, we said yes, we agree with the release of the detained suspects consistent with the Constitution and the laws of the Republic of South Sudan. There is no question of us releasing them on the demand of a rebel. But they will be released in accordance with our Constitution and the law. Well, these are issues the government of the Republic of South Sudan accepted in principle. Accepted in principle. Now it is up to IGAD and Riek Machar. We are waiting to hear from Riek Machar what will be his response. If he continues with his conditional dialogue, then definitely it means that it's not serious and it does not mean it. If he accepts it, then IGAD will come in to tell us as to how best do we proceed. And even in case of cessation of hostilities, should we just do it just like that, or do we need, who will actually take charge of that? These are issues that need to be looked into. So with that we are saying the ball is now in the court of Riek Machar, and it is him to respond. In case of anything, then IGAD will be out to assist. On the current developments, today the fighting is continuing in Malakal. Not so far ahead of the outcome, but from yesterday up to today, yesterday the rebel forces were flashed out of Malakal. This morning they made a counter-offensive, and the fighting is continuing. I'm not ahead of the outcome, but the fighting is still continuing in Malakal. All the oil fields of northern part of Upper Nile are safe. The oil fields of Unity State are partially closed because of the presence of the rebels in those areas and the killing of the personnel in the oil fields. And so that has affected in a way or the other the flow of the oil in Unity State. But for northern Upper Nile, there's no problem. The oil is flowing as usual, and there is nothing that will stop it from flowing. All that we need is, in fact, there is a real humanitarian disaster, and we are requesting humanitarian assistance to the needy in the Republic of South Sudan.